as we've continued to evolve throughout culture, obviously, because Western culture specifically is rooted, or the rules in which we operate is built by the church, right? The foundation of the church is the basis by which we establish how we're supposed to be operating in society. And those are the laws in which we operate by. We've perverted it and changed it into something that's completely different. And so when people say, I just want to get married, they automatically tie it to, well, I want to pass it down to my kids, or wealth, or stuff like that. But I don't think that people even understand where marriage comes from and the foundation of it, and how largely in this Western culture, we supposed to be operating based off of Christian principles. And that's where the foundation of it is for me.
So marriage is like this to me. You have God, right? Then you got the husband, and then you have the wife, and then you have the kids. So the husband is a covering for the wife. So that's why I was saying one of the reasons is for the man to protect her. So when I say off the streets, I'm just saying she's on the street, she's not protected. So that is godly. That is actually biblical as well. But that was just one reason. There's many reasons I've seen many people were saying on here that seemed very similar. You just put it together, it all comes like, even everybody here says something that was good. And that's kind of what a marriage is collectively. But like you said, people are not having this conversation. They're not asking, well, what do you think marriage is? I think that was a great question you asked everybody. And I think that people should start asking that, because once they start doing that, it'll be a better dynamic, a better union. And the equally yoked that Precious was talking about, and what Bruiser was, or what you guys were talking about, that needs to be a conversation too. Because if we're going to go back to this this question here, if you have a man that just wants to, let's say what Bruiser said, he just want to, have someone, do what his plan is, and you guys got to have similar plans. The woman that he meet that doesn't have those type of plans, she want to be, having a whole bunch of businesses and doing all this extra stuff, but it don't align with him. So if he marry a woman that's like that, and then, the 5 year later thing, she's like, well, yeah, I wanted to do all these things, and I told you from before, well, you guys weren't equally yoked because Bruiser said he didn't want that. So these conversations need to be had, so when things do pop up, it won't be like so crazy and out there. And it will be a better, successful marriage. A lot of people are just getting married just for the status, just for the ring, just for the wedding, just for to say they had a kid. Don't even take care of their kids. But it needs to be more of like what Lucky is saying as a whole, under in the Bible and biblically speaking. So.
And I just want to say this just for the audience, because when we hear about marriage, especially on social media, it's always there's a negative connotation to it. I miss being married. My marriage wasn't perfect or whatever, and to a certain degree, I'm embarrassed that I actually ended the marriage. You know what I'm saying? I miss being married. I said before, to a certain degree, I still operate like a husband in a way. You know what I mean? Because I started my adult life like with a family and married and all this other stuff. You know what I mean? So it's like in my DNA. So to a high degree, I miss being married. That's
why you buy tires.
So then, it seems like everybody's being real vulnerable right now in a way. So shouldn't our investment then be in better quality people? The women investing in men, invest in his peace and his mindset, whether you've already had relationships or you right now in your life right now, you invested in better men and men invested in better women. And then when we have that conversation, shouldn't there then be accountability and responsibility to each other? So then if man is supposed to connect to God, which is his ego, and we want man to be as positively as egotistical as possible to invest in the family, and then the greater the man, the greater the woman, and then the greater the kids, isn't investing in families, is securing better quality people? Shouldn't that be all our primary goal?
I get what you're saying, but I haven't read it. I've read the Bible, but I haven't read it.
Before you go real quick, Bruiser, I'm not even talking about the Bible. Let's throw all the social constructs away. I'm saying, should our investment be in each other, in better quality people? So that if we have these honest conversations where people are being vulnerable, shouldn't my interest be when Anton's talking about marriage is securing her, is providing security for her, to protect her, and her protecting me, my mind and my peace and my ego. So the greater I get, the greater she is. The greater we are, the greater the children we create. And the greater children we create, the better nation we have. versus investing in material possession. And you're going fast again, Bruiser. You're not even letting it.
No, I understand what you were saying. You was rephrasing it, and I'm saying I got it now.
No, but I feel like you about to go that. Just like let it soak in real quick before you go. Okay, just a little bit.
All right.
Okay, go ahead, Bruiser.
Hold on, give me 3 seconds.
Nah, go ahead.
You just want to massage your ego real quick.
I hope.
All right. So I get it. I get what you're saying. You said making an investment. Should we invest in quality people? What do you expect in return when you invest in the wife?
Beautiful children, better. The woman is a nation. The greater she is, the greater the kids.
How can you predict that? Are you gambling with your investment when you say beautiful children?
Are you trolling right now? You asking
I'm just asking a question. You can decide not to answer it.
It sounds like you trolling, but I got to figure out if you trolling. What I'm saying is that if two people are vetting each other and we spend enough time with each other, we've gotten to know each other. We got to know each other's friends. We got to know each other's backgrounds and families because we're going to marry each other's families. If we make a commitment to that, there's nothing you can say. If I change, there's nothing I can do about it. There's nothing she can do about it. But there has to be a risk that comes to us trying to invest in marriages and families at some point, rather than us still investing in sex and babies and everybody becoming baby mamas and baby daddies in a broken society. So we have to.
You want beautiful children.
It's beautiful people. Yeah, beautiful people. Beautiful children become beautiful people. They replace us. Everybody has to pass the torch. So what I'm seeing is a lot of people talk about they come from broken families. They talk about being isolated from their families. They don't even praise their families. And they're so more concerned about doing things that has nothing to do with people or their families. What I'm saying is that if you come from a broken family, restore the family. Be the new matriarch, be the new patriarch. If you come from a beautiful family, sustain the patriarch and matriarch. If you make mistakes, do everything you can to right that mistake. But our greatest goals is to create a brotherhood, a sisterhood, and marriages where we're protecting each other and we're redirecting each other.
I think the problem with that, Ali, is that people are not getting better themselves, yet they're expecting other people to be better for them. You have to get better yourself, because someone that is not getting better themselves, when you join with someone and being married is a spiritual thing, in the spirit, you will know that person hasn't gotten better. They haven't gotten better. You see the history, you see what they have done. And when you're with them, you could tell, you could just tell if you're tapped into yourself and you have done your work. But a lot of people don't do that work. They go from broken household to broken relationship to broken marriage.
So then would you be open to both of us collectively implementing consequences for that? Like as a society?
The consequence of being broken is just more brokenness. So you have
no. That's not what I mean, Precious. What I'm saying, all the things that we're doing now, whether we talk about LGBT behaviors, man being emasculated, women being masculine, and we having broken people that's having broken identities to the point that they hate their families, then they hate their mother and father, then they hate them and resent themselves, and then they have identity crises to where, okay, how do we rectify that? We create punishments for things that don't even matter. So we having broken relationships with each other, but we're not investing in even like what we talked about the other time about was it discipline?